Anderson, and investigators from the case, Lieutenant Ricky Mendez and Lieutenant Glenn Stoltzfus, and Detective Stan Roache was in the room here somewhere. As you already know, we made an arrest in our homicide from early Saturday morning at O'Halloran's bar, and we've now identified any of the remaining persons of interest that we were asking for public's help in. The second subject that was pictured with Mr. Cruz has been identified and located, and he's been spoken to. The first thing I want to say is our thoughts and condolences continue to be with the McCain family at this point for their loss of Marcus and the recovery of their injured family member, Travis. The loss of life and injury in this incident is tragic and senseless. This all started as a disagreement between the two individuals, a few individuals in a bar, and it senselessly escalated to a shooting. From the information we have at this point in our investigation, the McCain brothers left the bar along with some other subjects when they were told to leave, and were walking in a completely separate direction when the shooting occurred. Other than that, that's all the information we can release at this point. The case continues to be under investigation. I want to take the opportunity to thank the public and the media for helping in this investigation. Once we put out the still photos of the suspects or persons that we needed to be identified from the bar, the media was real quick to respond, and so was the public. Within minutes of that information getting out, we started getting phone calls from the public. So that's excellent from our standpoint, and it's absolutely necessary in cases such as this. And O'Halloran's has been cooperative throughout this investigation in providing us with any video information that they have from their bar. I want to thank our officers and detectives for their tenacity in this investigation. Our detectives worked nonstop from the initial shooting, just after 1 o'clock in the morning, which led to the suspect's arrest in less than 30 hours from the initial call. I also want to thank the District Attorney's Office, especially Assistant District Attorney Travis Anderson, for their assistance and guidance in this case. The county members of the County Forensics Unit for assisting us at the crime scene, and then the Effort Borough Police Department and the Lancaster County Special Emergency Response Team for their professionalism and assistance in helping us apprehend Alex Cruz in Effort Township early yesterday morning. Again, like I said, this incident is still under investigation, and we're still asking for anyone with information related to the incident or the defendant to contact our Criminal Investigative Division. And they can do that by calling into our front desk, providing information to Crime Stoppers, or text tips. So that's pretty much all I have to say at this point. Does anybody else have any questions? Or
has the second individual been charged or arrested yet, or has he just been spoken to?
He's been identified, located, and spoken to. At this point, other charges could come out of this investigation. This is going into day 3 from the initial shooting, so our detectives are still talking to different people and interviewing different witnesses. So additional charges could come out of this, or it may not. But at this point, he's been located and talked to. Yes?
So just to make sure I have an understanding of it, you said that the McCain brothers were walking away from it, and that's when they were shot? So is it fair to say they were shot from behind? They
were walking away from the bar, and the shooter engaged them and shot at them. So, I'm not going to release that they were definitely shot at from behind, but they were definitely walking away from the establishment.
How many shots were fired?
Multiple. I don't have that number for you, and that's not something we'd necessarily release anymore.
Had Mr. Cruz had any run-ins previously with law enforcement?
Well, he's charged with a person not to possess a firearm, so you can make that assumption.
Yes. The younger brother was identified as being 20. Was he in the bar before this happened?
The information we do have is that he was in the bar when the disagreement occurred.
Have police been called to O'Halloran's often in the past?
I'm sorry?
Have police been called to O'Halloran's often in the past?
It's not what we consider a problemless establishment in the city. We've had, noise complaints and things like that there before. I mean, it's normally a quiet neighborhood bar. There was activity that we've witnessed from this investigation that concerns us, and we're going to be following up on that also, in addition to following up with Liquor Control Enforcement and Liquor Control Bureau.
Can you provide any other information on what was going on in the bar between the suspects and the brothers? Was it just the four of them? Was it a number of people? Do we know anything else about that?
All I can say at this point is that there was a disagreement in the bar, and once the patrons were asked to leave by bar, employees, it escalated to this shooting.
Were the suspects the ones who were asked to leave?
They were involved. It was a whole group that were asked to leave at the same time, and it just escalated from there.
Just want to real quickly just commend the chief and the city police and all the agencies that cooperated here to have a swift resolution for this. Having said that, he's still presumed innocent. I need to emphasize that. This is just the beginning. Even though we've started this, we've solved it, we've made the arrest. We've got a long process ahead of us. I want to thank Travis Anderson for working on this weekend. But this is a real testament to the work of the city police to have this resolved so quickly. It doesn't happen without cooperation of the community that we got pretty much across the board from O'Halloran's and from the video evidence. I'm confident this is going to turn out we're going to have justice in this case. But having said that, and the chief touched on it, what's going to come out as you see more is just really, truly senseless. So a minor disagreement in a bar turns into one dead, one critically wounded, and another person is going to face very, very serious consequences. We'll look at the potential death penalty down the line. It's a little bit too early for that, but when you have two victims, there's certainly aggravating circumstances we'll be taking a look at. So, what's solved by this over an insignificant matter, it destabilizes the community, and that's where the police come in, and I'm really relieved and proud of the work that they did. So, thank you.
Was this caught on the safety coalition cameras?
It was not. Yes, sir.
Is there any update on the condition of the other brother? Is he expected to survive? I know you said he's critically injured.
He is expected to survive. He's in stable condition at the hospital.
Any kind of personal history between the parties? Anything you know of?
At this point, we're not prepared to release anything like that, and to my knowledge, nothing really, other than, they met. They were in the same bar that night when the disagreement occurred.
Which is why it's so good that they're able to solve this, because typically you have things like this, there's some kind of history between the parties, and you're looking for something like that, and there's nothing that we've seen to that effect whatsoever. So that's even more of a testament to the work the police did.
And I can't emphasize enough that without the community's help, this crime, without O'Halloran's assistance and what was captured on video from their establishment, plus the public's help, this crime could have gone unsolved for quite a while. So without the public's help, they were instrumental. Plus, the tenacity of our investigators for working on this. And when I say nonstop, I mean nonstop. From this happened at 1:17 in the morning, and they're still working on it. We had detectives in here, throughout the weekend, 24 hours a day, working this. So
It seemed like the video too those clear pictures were, from where we sat, it was incredible to see that. How quickly was O'Halloran's able to provide that? Was it almost instantaneous?
yeah, we had information right away, and just from an investigative standpoint, we weren't prepared to release that information because we felt that we could identify them first on our own, and there's different investigative steps that we have to be concerned about before getting that information out there. We wanted to definitely solidify that they were persons of interest in that case before releasing that information to the media or the public.
Is there any indication that there was any kind of return fire or anything like that? Was there an exchange of fire?
There was no exchange of fire, I can definitely say that.
One gun involved?
Yes, sir. That's why, it wasn't a shootout, this was a senseless, act of violence. All right, thank you very much.
You guys.